guys, I'm Natalia here, and now you are watching my video selection process. It is one of the requirements for applying in the Green School Bali. Well, I believe there are a few important roles that a teacher can do. Is as a guide, help students to find their voice, teach them how to become responsible, and teach them how to respect. As a guide, I believe rather than being a primary source of information, I will give students the access to cultivate their own gardens of knowledge. And this is the second role, to help children find their own voice. I believe that every student is unique, and they have their own potential and their own special gift to give contribution to the world. And I will assist them to find their own voice, to find their own potential, and to express their own idea freely. One way to take learning in that way is to help like something like students open dialogue to discuss about their lessons and units of study. I will and for the third role, how to teach students how to become responsible. I will allow them to become responsible members of our classroom community by using some strategies like class meetings, positive discipline, and like democratic principle. By teaching them how to become responsible, I also giving them tools to become more successful in life, to believe in themselves, and to love themselves. And the fourth role is how to teach students to become respect. I believe respect is important thing and should be taught to children since they were a little. I will help them to develop love and respect for themselves and for the others and for the environment by using some strategies like open dialogue. For example, we can hold class meetings. I believe when the voice of a student is heard, they will feel freer, they will feel confident to express themselves, to express their own ideas. And I think the children will feel greater respect from themselves, for the teachers, for the peers, for the environment, when they feel safe and when they feel, oh, I know what is expected from me, like that. Well, my philosophy of learning are, I believe that whoever is doing is learning. I believe textbooks are a poor source of learning. It is unmotivating and it's a crutch for teachers. Get yourself on online tools, dude. I believe that every learner is an individual human being with her own feelings, passions, weaknesses, dreams to explore. I believe that learning should be real world right now, not only just preparation for later careers. I believe that reward for learning is personal satisfaction and enjoyment, not a letter grade. When you stop learning, you're dead. And you know, I'm still learning every day. The first person is Mr. Handaka Wijananda, and I'm proud to call him as my own foster father. Well, he teach me how to share with the others. When you continue to grow, when you continue to learn in this world, you have to continue to share it. And the second person is Mr. Samuel. Well, I'm sure you haven't heard about him. Well, Mr. Samuel is the leader of an orphanage I have visited before. He teach me if the more important thing is not knowledge, is respect and moral. And the third education leaders is the poor and sick people I have visited and helped before. They taught me how luckier and better my life than them. They made me wanted to do something for them, wanted to do something better, want to do some improvement to make their life better and improve. Step number 1. Tell them what you don't like. The students will behave better if they know exactly what not to do. Tell them what they need to be corrected, and without singling everyone out, cite specific example. Step number 2. Tell them why it is wrong. Explaining why is a very powerful persuasion technique. Our students will much more likely agree with me if I explain to them why it is wrong, and that will make them change their behavior better. Step number 3. Tell them what I want. I will make it clear to my students what I want to them. What I want for them to behave better, like how they should attend during classes, how they should raise their hand, how they should greet their friends, how should they greet their table mates, and so on. I will make it specific so they will easy to understand it. Step number 4. Challenge them. I will ask the students and I will challenge them to stand up if they feel they cannot accomplish what I expect from them, for whatever reason, because I do not want to see the same old behavior again. Step number 5. Challenge them again, then finish it together. Now I will challenge my class to stand up and gather with me in a group. If they can commit, they will change their behavior better and they can do what I expect from them. If they cannot do, just remain sit. And I know they won't. And after that, I will put my hands in the center of the group and they will put their hands up to me, and then I will look them in the eyes and say, okay guys, okay class, we can do it together, okay? 1, 2, 3, be the best, yay! And do it. And I will do those 5 steps with all my passion, because if I don't do it with my passion, it will sound like a lecture. I tend to make my class being like a motivational class, so they can believe in themselves, because I have to believe in my students. If they can do it, they can behave better. Well, I don't really have a professional experience as a teacher, so I will tell you about my professional experience as a leader of one social organization. Well, actually, I have to become a leader, because the leader before stepped down and no one could change him beside me, because I'm the one who knew well about the structural, about the format, about all things about the social organization. Well, maybe all of you will think, well, this is a problem. I can do it. I can change him. I have a few members. I have people who can help me. That's my thought at first. Because not only him was stepped down, was out from organization, by the way, but the people that you can call in my organization the A team is like the people who gave the most valuable contribution to the organization was out too. I couldn't believe it. They didn't tell me at all, and they out in the same time. The former leader stepped down and out from the organization. And the side effect was all the members couldn't give active contribution like before anymore. The change come the moment when I stopped judging myself. If I said I couldn't do it, I said I could do it. I focused to the work. I didn't focus to the problem. I didn't focus to the how the people see me. I didn't focus on that. And after that, I feel better. I can feel energized. I can feel like many creative ideas explored from my head, and it's really useful when I lead my social organizations now. I couldn't behave here truthfully when many people ask me to, hey, I want to join your social action, hey, I want to participate, I want to help you. Although they didn't become members, they just help. They just came when social actions was held. Well, I was happy. I was proud of myself. I can hold like some open dialogue, open consultation, and I will ask them, what do you really want to do? What do you want to be? And the second thing I can do is I can help to talk to their parents, because the parents play an important role here. And why else again the parents play an important role? Because the children, the students interact the most with their parents at home, of course, besides in the school with their teachers, and the parents will give a really big support when they can encourage their children, they can help their children to grow, to develop their passion. So they will know, oh, I do the right thing in my life, oh, my parents were supporting me, oh, I can do this. It was when I did my thesis. I had a really great goal, really great aim at the time. I wanted to graduate in 3.5 years, not normal 4 years. Because I didn't want to pay the college fee anymore. Well, it was expensive. And because of that goal, I really did my best. I gave my all to do my thesis. But the problems came, and it's not only one, it's much more. The bacteria that I needed to do my research was not come on the right time, and my work method was wrong, totally wrong, and I have to find another work method. And did you can imagine it? All my works I had done before with my work method was useless. And so what did I do then? Well, I know I couldn't change the situation anymore. Although I cry, I bail out until my eyes will be the same size as a tennis ball, it still won't change anything. So I try to calm down, although I really cry and hide behind my blanket, and I want to scream to the world. I couldn't let myself drown in my sadness. I learned to be stronger. I learned not to fight anymore with time. I learned to let go. I learned to move on, and I try to talk if like maybe something that you think is a bad thing is not really that bad, and something that you think is a good thing is not really that good. I try to think like that. I helped my mother that time. My mother was a Mandarin language extracurricular teacher. So at that time, I just helped my mom. Maybe you can say I was the co-teacher that time. Well, my way of teaching and my mom's were different. So we tried a few formats until we found the best format for teaching our students at that time. It was one teaching and one assist. What's that? Well, it was simple. One person will hold the primary responsibility to teach the lesson, while the other, the one who assists, will help the students with their work, will watch their behavior and lending a voice when the students like they hesitate to lending their voice or comments in some works. I will also say thanks to the founder of Green School Bali who had made the amazing school in this earth, and I want to say thanks to all staff, all teachers in Green School Bali, and all inspirational people who have sent their own video or podcast or application to apply in the Green School Bali too. Well, thank you for hearing me, thank you for reading my email, thank you for seeing my old selves in this video. I really appreciate it. I really wish to hear good news from you soon. Well, thank you and see you next time.